Texas lost a bunch from last year, but there are some kids on this team restocking it, including Jared Allen, the freshman.
Jared Allen, Paul Biancardi, ESPN top center in the country last year, 15 overall. This kid reminds you of Rasheed Wallace. He can shoot the basketball. He likes to go down on the block. He can go to either shoulder. It's going to be interesting. Michigan's inside defense has not been great to this point.
The offense inside has been recently. Mo Wagner, 20 points, career high on Saturday in a win against Kennesaw State. Meantime, Texas, in a comeback win on Friday against Alabama, one that Shaka Smart needed.
Well, they needed it desperately. They were awful in the first half, turning the ball over against Alabama. Second half, Shaka picked up the pace, went to full court, havoc-type pressure, and we're going to see that today, maybe as early as the first possession.
They've not been pressing as much this season, but this is the type of game where you do that.
Yeah, I talked to Shaka last night at the hotel, and he's like, I just don't feel like we're good enough or there enough to do it all game, but they certainly did it against Alabama, turned the game around.
Allen wins the tap. Our officials, Tommy Eads, DJ Karstensen, Gene Sterator, and Texas has it first. Tevin Mack, a sophomore, had it stolen away by DJ Wilson.
Boy, really good by DJ Wilson. He got on the high side, extended the passing lane, and made the steal.
Young man who's had some foul trouble, fouled out of the Virginia Tech game with 4 offensive fouls last week, Wednesday here. Zach Irvin, the senior, off to Wilson, 9 to shoot. Irvin using the bounce, 3 to shoot. Irvin, too strong.
Yeah, and that's what happens to Michigan. They get stuck sometimes offensively. They run through their things, and they rely on Zach Irvin to get him a shot late. Virginia Tech took him out of it in the last 10 minutes. Certainly South Carolina the entire game.
Jones to the rim, had it knocked back at him. Texas will keep it. You think they start watching a little bit, watching Irvin?
I think everybody, after they don't get initial movement or initial shot, this guy has run great offense, John Beilein, over the course of his career. But this team doesn't cut as hard as it needs to. It doesn't set up and change direction as hard as it needs to. And then they rely and stand.
That's a nice pick. Derek Walton to the rim for 2.
That's the bugaboo of Texas basketball. Turnovers, no real point guard. Guys trying to learn to be a point guard. The big difference between that and a natural point guard.
And you think about the guys that came through there, guys like DJ Augustine, to not have a point guard at Texas is folly.
Well, Isaiah Taylor was pretty good. He just left.
On the road to the NBA, Isaiah Taylor. Here's Kerwin Roach, who plays some point guard for them. That's tough fadeaway and out of bounds to Michigan.
You can't throw cross-court passes to your man. You have to throw cross-court passes away from the gold shirt if you're Texas. So many people just throw the ball to their teammate. They see a similar shirt, they throw it. Well, Derek Walton got in the passing lane because the pass was in the lane. It wasn't away from him.
Officials changed the call, by the way. Texas will have it 3 to shoot. Get it into Jones. Andrew Jones, the freshman, knocks down the 3.
Oh, Andrew Jones just caught it and made it over the biggest guy Michigan has.
Yeah, that's a foul. Pick your poison there, whether it's Jones or Mack. Texas is not a great three-point shooting team. This was pretty.
This was really pretty. A bit lucky, but these guys practice this. Players practice this. Look, DJ Wilson is out there. He's about 23 feet. Wilson's hands up. And now he wipes his forehead. You didn't see that right there. You should be saying, whew, we got lucky, bailed out.
It goes either way.
Sure.
Mo Wagner against Shaq Claire, put his head down and dropped it off for Wilson.
Well, that was really good by Wagner. He penetrated but didn't over-penetrate, then took his time, waited for Wilson to clear.
Wilson got his first career start in the Marquette win last month for Michigan. He's an important guy. Energy.
Started playing really well at the end of last year. And now this year he's been very good. Very good in practice, changed his body, changed his mentality, became more serious.
California kid, junior out of Sacramento. Wagner, a couple of spins against Claire and couldn't finish. sleek moves by Wagner in the post. Couldn't put it in.
No, really good. Now we're going to talk about the ball screen under 12 minutes and what Michigan looks for. The main thing they look for is right there, Wagner or whoever's rolling from the high post.
Wagner on Claire in the post. Tevin Mack on the drive. Rimmed it out. Tough defense early from Michigan.
Yeah, both teams playing pretty hard on that end defensively.
Wolverines allowing 59 points a game. They're 6-2. Lost to South Carolina. Didn't crack 50 in that game. Nice pass to Wilson from Abdur Rahman.
A lot of options off the high ball screen. When the ball is dribbled to you, you do what Wilson just did, which is back cut. That's a big-time staple on a high ball screen action of a John Beilein offense.
It's taken 4 separate teams to the NCAA tournament, one of 12 coaches to do it. And there's a steal. Abdur Rahman up ahead. Walton the drop off, got it back, gave it up. Wagner, too much.
Shot Walton had to be ready for. He was not ready to shoot, and he has to be. He's a guy that hit 7 threes in the Garden in a win over SMU.
Texas a little disorganized offensively, and it's Michigan basketball when we come back. Wolverines up 6-3 early on from Ann Arbor.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to
strong with the basketball, get dribble penetration, and make a play. This would be a stunning upset. Always under control. He's watching the clock. He's going to time this basically so there's practically nothing left. Look at that hesitation. And he just uses Cam Williams and takes it off the glass. That is gutty. 1 second to go is the official call, and here we go.
Got to go 94 feet and likely throw it up. And this time FAU will guard the man throwing the ball in. That's Jaquan Lyle. Lyle looking, throwing. Ball up in the air, game over. Lost shocker in Columbus. FAU wins it.
Wow, to all you Michigan fans watching, that'll make you feel good. Florida Atlantic, a winner. Jason?
Down to Florida Atlantic, Dan Dockage. How about that?
That's a shocker. You know, Ohio State rarely, if ever, leaves home, and they pad their schedule with it, making it as soft as they possibly can. Florida Atlantic probably got paid a couple $100,000 to go in there, so they got paid to go in there and won the game. Bonus.
And a bonus for Michigan fans. An Ohio State cut in that leads to tragedy in Columbus.
What about tragedy?
Well, early season. College basketball tragedy. Tevin Mack, couple of free throws off the foul by Wagner, and we stand at 8-5 Michigan.
Yeah, I think this campus is still in shock and sadness over the Ohio State football game.
You don't think they're going to trade this basketball game today for the football game? You don't think they're okay with it now?
I think that, nothing can help them overcome that.
364 days maybe will help the healing.
But according to my son, there is a 4-minute video that explains why it happened.
Yeah, he's been working on the conspiracy theories as Mack has 4 in a row for Texas.
Jason, that was really nice. Mack made the post feed, cut right off of Allen, and Allen good enough to find him.
Quick trigger from Walton. Donnell went for the rebound, and a foul called as that action goes against Michigan.
Don't stand when you're playing basketball. Pass, cut. And when you pass and cut, good things happen. And you saw Mack right there. He hit the post. He sprinted. He didn't jog. When you sprint and you cut, now you're really in business. Now you're a guy that can really play.
Got to have that, too, when you have point guard issues, right?
Absolutely. You got to play inside out. I talked to Shaka here right behind the bench here, and he said, look, when we get stuck, we're going inside. We're playing out of it.
Senior Kendall Yancey's checked in. James Banks as well, a freshman center out of Decatur, Georgia. This is Yancey, the senior. Into the post for Banks. Part of that great recruiting haul by Shaka Smart. Davis's jumper won't fall. He really is struggling on the offensive end early this year. Second chance, no dice. And the rebound for Walton.
Yeah, that was Joe Young, had a good look.
Wilson scores. Hard drive for DJ Wilson.
All right, I said earlier, Wilson's gotten himself in position and then got himself out of position, all right? He did it there. He was in position to go get a bucket, but he was also in position to charge. And he moved his body, got out of the way, and now a turnover. You see right here, he could charge it. This is 6'10". This is sprinting the floor. You see Wilson coming, he could charge, but he gets out of the way. And you see, when you end up under the bucket from the side, that means you jump sideways. He was in position, then got out of position, and avoided the charge. Really good move by that kid.
How does he get better this year? What do you want to see more of?
He's got to score more. Now, that sounds simple, right? He's only averaging 7 points a game, and that shocked me when getting ready for this game. I thought he was averaging 14. Got to stay out of foul trouble. If he stays out of foul trouble, he'll average 14 a night.
That's well up from last year as well, 2.5 points a game. You mentioned it. He came on late in the year.
He came on in mentality late in the year, but then he really came on in the summer. Spent the summer here with a great weight coach, John Sanderson.
That's a goaltend. Walton gets 2.
See, that's pretty good by Walton. Again, the middle ball screen is what John Beeline comes to, and you try to get to the rim, you kick it out left, you kick it out right. We'll talk about it under 12.
The Dockage family reunion comes to Ann Arbor after the timeout when we hit it. Set your DVRs, folks.
Yeah. I know one person will be. My son's mother.
Well, there's one.
There's one.
There's one. We're going to build from there.
Yeah.
7 to shoot. Eric Davis pinned, and still 2 for Texas.
That's like the hardest shot Eric Davis has had. He hasn't made anything, but he made that one. Davis is important because he's the only guy in the team with a decent assist to turnover. He's 14-4.
27% from the floor, though. Shaka Smart said the confidence is pretty low, trying to show him tape of makes that he's had in the past to build that confidence back up. Irvin on the drive and pull up, and he left it short. Zach Irvin still scoreless in this game.
Yeah, he's usually money on that little baseline jumper, but I like the way Texas has come out defensively. They're playing hard, and they made Irvin uncomfortable there. He didn't realize he was going to be that open.
Banks off the pivot, 12 to shoot. Bunch of young players out there right now for Texas. Davis, the sophomore, off the spin, got 2 more. The kid from Saginaw has 4 in a row.
Hey, he's coming home, and confidence, schmonfidence.
Nothing rhymes with confidence, just like orange, by the way, we just found out.
That was a big-time shot, 2 big-time shots.
A lot of family in town for Davis. Saginaw about 90 minutes away. Duncan Robinson down low, working the paint for 2.
Yeah, nice little back screen. Duncan Robinson beat his man to the spot. And you let him square up. I don't care if it's from deep or I don't care if it's close to the bucket. His hands are great. Nice touch.
Ball tipped away. Irvin plays the passing lane and tracks it down. Robinson off the shot fake and drive. He'll go to the free throw line. Dan Dockich is leaving. He will meet his son on the court here at Chrysler Center. Join us for this. Michigan, a 3-point lead. There's Andrew, fired up, ready to go. It's DJ Wilson in the corner, not a shooter. Instead, he's cutting to the basket. A great find by Irvin for an easy 2 for Michigan. Andrew's got a future in this.
Yeah, he's got a future in something. But he is, I tell you what, he can think the game. I mean, he can really, really think the game. And there are times, and you'll see it on the bench, where Coach Beeline will go over and ask him. But they have a lot of options, and we saw, as you just showed him, the back cut being one of them. You drive it towards, you back cut.
How about that?
Geez.
That's a young Dan Dockich.
Oh, jeez.
And your son.
Get a haircut.
Him or you?
He looks good. He's a handsome young man. Me, on the other hand, oh, my God.
Black and white. It was a little yellowed out. We had to do a little adjustment to it to get it to black and white. Yep.
I hope it never shows up again.
What a great look that was.
Why don't you get a haircut?
Mop man. Shot wouldn't go for Allen. He's been quiet. Jared Allen, the freshman
You know
center.
who else been quiet? And I think he's going to have to influence this game is Claire. He's big, he's strong, he hasn't done a thing. Big time late in the second half with jump hooks for Texas.
Yeah, he had 11 in that win against Alabama. A lot of that production coming after halftime against Alabama on Friday. 10 to shoot. Irvin still scoreless. And it's out of bounds. Michigan will have it with 10:29 to go in the first. Robinson had it blocked, and Michigan will keep, so 4 to shoot. Where are you going here?
I'm going with Shaka Smart. Shaka Smart, every time Robinson even looks like he's going to get a shot, you can see how they're closing out on him. They are closing out like Virginia Tech closed out last week against Michigan.
There's Wagner showing the versatility.
Yeah.
Mo Wagner, a kid out of Berlin.
Now, he can shoot the basketball. He has improved so much. I mean, we all think of John Beilein as a perimeter type coach, but I got to tell you, Mo Wagner, DJ Wilson have improved immensely.
There's Claire going to work, and Wagner boxes him out.
You got to get it to Claire, and Claire has to be more physical. Claire gave up on that a little too easy.
How so?
Well, you got to back people down. You got to clear, back people down, and this is bad business for Texas.
That's Duncan Robinson from the corner for 3.
Well, they somehow, some way, just didn't communicate and lost the best shooter maybe on the planet when he gets to click his heels.
It's a 9-0 run for Michigan. Robinson has 7 for the Wolverines in a 10-point lead.
I got to tell you, if you're going to leave this kid open, that is bad business. Look, nobody knows who has who. Better find him. Of anybody in the building, find him.
Wrong kind of havoc. This one, Nebraska, Kansas, Duke, UNLV, both came to the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Duke got a couple of those freshmen back, Bolden and Tatum. Duke is so dangerous. Without the freshmen, they are, 6 McDonald's All-Americans deep. And how about UNLV? UNLV played Bobby Hurley's Arizona State team. Bobby Hurley's Arizona State team hit 18 threes against UNLV to beat them by double digits.
That's too many threes.
Oh, my
You're
goodness.
not going to win. You give up 18 threes.
No.
So Arizona State earlier tonight, Florida Duke as well. Coming up, Jimmy V week and the Jimmy V Classic. Michigan has had basically whatever it's wanted offensively for most of this night. Robinson again left it short. Allen the rebound.
Not his thing because he was pushed back by the pressure. That's as good a pressure on a shot as you're going to see.
We see Michigan now heating up the point guard of Texas, whomever it is.
Yeah.
Roach missed the jumper, one and done.
Yeah, and you have to, and that's why you're looking out there. Michigan has Xavier Simpson, freshman point guard, Mr. Basketball in Ohio, and Derek Walton, the senior point guard, because that's exactly what they want to do. They want to put heat on them. They want to turn them over. They want to make them uncomfortable.
First Ohio Mr. Basketball from Lima since Jamar Butler 12 years ago. Wagner the screen.
He's open.
Got it back. Wagner missed it by a lot.
Scott Norwood. Wide rises.
Come on.
All right.
Let him live in Buffalo. It's been a long time.
It's better to be remembered than not be remembered.
Is that true always?
No, it's really not.
I got a couple in my mind that
I agree.
I don't know
No.
want to be remembered for what they're remembered for.
I agree.
Mack in the corner, and Texas needed that pretty badly.
Too easy. Too easy. Duncan Robinson helped, and Coach Beilein is letting him know. Duncan Robinson just helped off of Mack when there was no real threat of a drive. And look, Mack has not had a great shooting year. Well, yeah, he has. He's 41%. He's been probably the best guy. But when you let him click his heels like that, man, oh, man.
Nobody else has shot very well at all for Texas. Simpson drive and kick. Wilson gave up the 3 to create a 2, and he left it short.
Yeah, pretty good defense by Allen. Allen, we got to go to the post and Allen here if you're Texas.
How about Mack? He's got 7 of the 14. Can't blame him for shooting too early.
That's bad shot. He wasn't on balance. He was going sideways. You know, when I say click your heels, what I mean is you get your feet set and you're going forward to the basket, not going sideways.
7-point game for Michigan. Donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Great to see everybody getting involved this week, throughout the week at Jimmy V Week.
Man, oh man, so many people, so much money being raised. 100%, as you say right there, of all direct deposits go to cancer. And, you know, a lot of people are a little bit skittish about donating to certain causes because they don't know where the money's going. Well, Jimmy V and the V Foundation tells you immediately, 100%, let's go.
Direct cash donations all going straight to cancer research, and a fantastic cause that we are proud to support here at ESPN. Michigan 1 for 6 from three-point range, still up 7 in the game. Without any production from Zach Irvin so far, who finds Wilson in the corner.
That's not exactly his forte, 28%, but you see the kid is 6'10", got long arms, can shoot the basketball, has already moved into spots, so he knows how to play. DJ Wilson is the key to Michigan basketball this year.
You think so?
I do. I think you saw a good back cut.
Nice look to Kerwin Roach for his first bucket.
And that's what you can't do if you're Michigan, and that's what you have to do if you are Texas. You've got to find ways to get past your man, whether it's on the dribble or a back cut. Texas, great job by Roach right there.
Starters back in for Michigan. Wolverines team off a win by 27 against Kennesaw State on Saturday. Lost to Virginia Tech on Wednesday, and that's going to be a double dribble carry against Abdur Rahman.
Corner shooting. When you come to Michigan practice, everybody shoots it from the corner. Like, I mean everybody. Mark Donnell came out. DJ Wilson came out before. And they just stood in that corner right there and shot threes. That was their warm-up. Don't let those big guys have threes if you're Texas.
And that was a real open look.
Yeah, really open, because you're not expecting that. It's on the scouting report, but you don't pay attention to it sometimes in the middle of the game, and it costs you. You know, Jason, I don't know if you know this, but coaches are paid a lot of money there.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are.
I had not heard that.
And there's
recently.
a lot of guys in suits on that bench, and they're telling players what to do.
It's an offensive foul against Allen. Shaka Smart and John Beeline have lost their coats already tonight, so they're in dress shirts more than anything.
Well, John Beeline's never been an assistant coach. Well, I guess he was on a USA basketball team, and that's great, but never had to suffer as assistant coaches do. I had to go find one of Coach Knight's hunting dogs one time as an assistant coach.
You did?
Yeah.
What
Nice.
great no-look dish. Wagner the finish.
Yeah, really nice. Claire was coming over. Walton recognized it, and just a little no-look flip.
Tremendous distribution to Wagner, who came in 17 for his last 22 from the field. He's 3 for 6 tonight. As that goes over the backboard off the miss from Mack.
I like Michigan's defense, but I like this a lot, and I mean a lot. You're going to see Derek Walton just beats his man and just flips it. Perfect timing on the pass, because Claire was coming, but Walton anticipated it nice. It's better to anticipate than to react.
That'll be a couple seconds early.
Yeah, just be early in what you do. Anticipate what's happening. Reaction's great, but anticipation's better.
There's some pressure from Texas. We thought we'd see it at points tonight, and they slap it on that time and get a turnover.
I think you have to. Michigan has not shown that they're going to just go through it and get buckets.
It's the second turnover tonight for Michigan as Allen goes sweeping through, and there's the top center in the country out of high school last year.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. He held the ball like a grapefruit and went to his left hand and abused DJ Wilson.
I don't know I want to be in your kitchen if that's the way you're holding grapefruits, but well done by Allen. Wilson passed that one up to set the offense.
This is where Michigan gets stuck a little bit. You see everybody kind of standing, where am I going, what am I doing? And they don't have a lot of guys that can just straight break you down. Now they got guys that can shoot it.
And Wagner is fouled by Claire on the drive. He wanted the continuation, okay.
I want the continuation always. This is pretty sweet. Look at this. He's just holding this ball and goes right around the postman. He can go both shoulders, which is rare. Usually a young big kid can only go to his strong shoulder. If he's right-handed, it's a left shoulder. If it's left-handed, it's a right shoulder. He can go both ways.
He got a lot of exposure to his coach, Shaka Smart, who coached that Team USA group in the under-18 championships, won a gold medal in Chile in July.
Yeah, it's funny. I sat with Matt Painter Friday night at a high school basketball game, and Matt and I were talking about just that thing right there. How USA basketball you get such an opportunity to see kids work with kids and get to know kids.
Nice follow that time. Jared Allen doing work in the post.
Well, Jared Allen just kept running. He didn't stop running. He saw his teammate going for a layup. And Jason, a lot of guys, big guys will stop on the M here. He just kept going. And when you just keep going, you keep moving, really good things happen.
There, Mack gets the hand in the passing lane and a turnover, Michigan. That's a strong drive from Jones. He has 5. Timeout, Michigan. And for a team that gave away a big lead against Virginia Tech last week, feels like it's happening again to Michigan. 4-point game, 4:05 to go, first half.
And look at Baylor, unranked before the season started, and they're sitting there 4th. I had them in the Bahamas, Jason. They're really good.
Jonathan Motley can play,
can
he?
Man, can he go.
That's a foul against Texas and Andrew Jones, his second.
So many people criticize Scott Drew. You know, that's one of the great, if not the greatest, rebuilding jobs when you think, you know, Dave Bliss and the crazy murder drug situation that left. People don't remember, but Scott Drew couldn't play half of a season. They only started up when Scott Drew first was coaching there.
Conference play.
Yes. And think of where they have been. Sweet 16s, Elite 8. Man, number 4 in the country. Pretty good.
Looks like Matt Rule is going to have to do the same thing with the football program at Baylor. It's tipped out of bounds. Michigan will hang on when we come back.
Where are you going?
Should say we're going to stay here.
They had the timeout. He took the.
You know what? You know what?
Break.
Your Cubs time makes me want to leave at all moments tonight, Dockich.
I love this Cubs time. We're in it every game I do this year.
You better not. Wagner off the spin into the lane. Got 2 more. Mo Wagner has 8.
How nice was that? Man, you're talking about a kid Michigan got late last year. Summertime, not this past summer, summer before, who has just developed into one of the skilled bigs in the league, gets his hands there and on the floor.
And picks it away. Here comes Michigan. Abdur Rahman had it challenged, and Urban's going to get called for the foul.
The floor gets spread for the bigs, as my son talked to you about. There's different options. And when the floor is spread, you got to be able to have a big guy that can go and be skilled. Jason, that's pretty good, man. That kid is 6'10". He's gained about 30 pounds since he's been here. That's pretty good. Like, really good.
The skill is high on his offensive end. What do you think of him defensively?
I think he's getting a lot better. We just saw right there, he knocked the ball away from Allen, got on the floor. There was certainly a liability. But he's paid attention to the new assistant coach, Billy Donlin, and worked really hard. Good for him.
And Davis turns it over.
I was talking before the game to Shaka Smart, and we were talking about turnovers. When you don't have a real point guard, you know where the turnovers come from? 2 places. One, by going to the baseline too much. And Jason, the other is you go too deep. Like there, he went too deep. You just got to back out your dribble, reverse the ball, and play.
Shaka Smart's trying to recruit a point guard. He's working on getting one to the program because they are thin at that position. Don't really have a true point guard at all to play this year. As Wagner's fouled before the shot, that will not count.
But they don't have anybody that makes anybody else better. And that's what a point guard does. That, when you sit in transition as a coach, you know you're going to get a layup when you're 3-on-2, 2-on-1, that type of thing.
Coming up Wednesday on ESPN2, another Journey to the Tourney game presented by Sonic. Number 2 Notre Dame, number 1 UConn at South Bend. Women's basketball. It's the 6th time they've met as the top 2 teams in the country. 7 Eastern on ESPN2, also available on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Gino and Muffet together once again, number 1 and number 2 in the nation, and Wagner rattled it out.
That's going to be fun. There needs to be more. Remember when Pat Summitt and Gino hated each other, went back and forth at each other?
I don't know that Muffet and Gino really like each other.
I don't think they do.
Sending holiday cards.
That's what I'm saying. We need more of that.
Well, when one team wins 82 in a row overall, they're kind of unliked.
Yeah, and Gino lets everybody know he's the best coach in the country, no matter the sport.
Double figures in turnovers now for Texas in the game as Wilson rescues that at the back line. Off that high screen from Wagner, Walton takes the shot for himself and knocks it down.
Yeah, that's another key. We mentioned Walton had 7 threes in the game in the Garden against SMU. When he makes threes, it energizes not only the fans, but the team. Because everybody knows you got to have a guy in this day and age that can make shots from the point guard position.
Foul against Michigan. What's changed in that way?
Well, it used to be guys passed, moved, cut, that type of thing. Now guys can do things with the dribble. Look at this. This is pretty good. That's clearly behind. The refs wanted to look at it. But guys can do so much with the ball, Jason. Last night, Klay Thompson scored 60 against the Pacers. He had the ball in his hands for 60 seconds and dribbled 11 times. These guys dribble 11 times before they get to half court.
Those numbers were outlandish last
Crazy.
night. Klay Thompson.
3 quarters.
Davis, open look. Still can't get it to fall. Tough early season for Eric Davis. Walton, what vision. Robinson couldn't complete the play. This is going to be Texas basketball, says Gene Steratore. Now maybe it will, well, it's going to stay. Tom Eads went over, talked it over with Steratore, and it's going to remain Texas basketball.
You're right, great vision. Walton made a really nice move. He took the defense left, found the shooter right. Big minute and a half here. Texas needs a bucket here desperately because this could get the double figures quick.
Roach into the lane. That could have been a goaltend.
Yeah.
Here comes Michigan up 9. Minute to go, first half. Nicely done by the freshman Banks to rake it away. Roach across the lane to Mack for 2 and a foul.
That was huge. The whole sequence was huge because we were on line with Walton. He had a real path to the bucket. He had beaten his man. But as you said, the freshman Banks reached in and it led to this. Out in transition, the finish, the strength, the chin on the rim. You see his head was back, chin on the rim. That is the sign of a guy that can finish through contact, Tevin Mack.
Already in double figures for the 6th time in 8 games this season. He has been the big man in the first half for Texas, trailing by 6 now.
Yeah, we made a deal about before the game about Allen. He's the guy NBA scouts are here to watch and all that. But when you talk to Michigan's players, Tevin Mack is the first guy that they wanted to discuss.
Strong defense by Roach on Walton. Off the switch, Yancey picks him up. And Walton misses. Final possession for Texas here, 18 seconds to go first half.
Boy, this has been a very good minute, 13 seconds for Texas. 9-point lead cut to 6, chance to get it to 4 or 3.
Mack over Wilson, 4-3.
Oh, man.
What a half for Tevin Mack.
And they set that up for him. As soon as the high post got the ball, he came sprinting behind, lifted up, squared his shoulders. Man, Jason, that's a big minute and a half. See? He came right behind. DJ Wilson let his feet stop. You cannot let your feet stop. You've got to run him off the line and force him into help. Didn't do it, gave up 3.
13 points for Mack, 31-28.
First half, and then to end the half, he goes behind a ball screen, knocks it in. Again, huge part of this ball game, 3-point game instead of being 9 or more.
Here's a guy who was in double figures 5 times all of last year in 33 games as a freshman out of Columbia, South Carolina. This year, 6 double-figure games already in 8, and a game-high 13 for him in the first half.
Well, you can see he can score a variety of ways. He plays good defense. He's playing hard. He has held Zach Irvin to no points, and Irvin is their guy, Michigan's guy. But tell you what, Tevin Mack has done a great job both ends.
Irvin just 3 shots, 0 for 3 first half for Michigan. There's Zach Irvin slicing into the lane, and then it blocked out of bounds. It will be Michigan ball with 10 to shoot.
You saw the block, but what you may not have seen was on the left side of your screen, Tevin Mack chased through not 1, not 2, but 3 down screens, kept his feet moving, didn't allow Irvin to hit a jump shot. Irvin had to drive. His teammate helped with the block.
Walton dumped down. Wagner stuck behind for 2.
Yeah, really nice. Walton hung on to it long enough that the help had to stay with him from the big guy. Wagner made himself available.
Walton just 2 assists in the game, but they've both been pretty.
Wow.
Wilson, the defense, couldn't do anything with Jared Allen, who has 6.
Well, he went to the left hand in the first half, and I think Wilson thought he was going back to the left hand. Instead, he put a little right-handed scoop on it.
Jared Allen, quiet, unassuming kid, ended up committing finally in June to Texas.
Yeah, you know, that's where you make a kid when he comes on campus saying, all right, watch this. He's going to go with the right hand here. Pretty nice. He had gone left, but you get on campus, you say, okay, kid, you made us wait. Now I'm going to make you run.
Well, he's getting a lot of run here. And
he's a good player, man.
He basically called and said, yeah, I'd like to fill out all my forms tomorrow. Can we do that? And they said, well, are you committing to Texas? Is that what's happening? He said, yeah. As though there was nothing to it. Wilson has found the jumper in this game. DJ Wilson with his second long-range 3.
And that wasn't a click your heels. That was a step behind the line 3. 6'10". Now he's got to play this in because second half of games, usually Shaka Smart goes inside with it.
Good news for Wilson is just 1 foul in the first half. And that's going to be a clear out against Allen. That's his 3rd.
Bad decision to throw it into Allen. Allen got the foul here, but that's a bad decision. It's pretty nice. You see Wilson stepping back. Stepped back with his left, joined it with his right, kept his shoulders forward.
Came in with 4 threes all season. He's got 2 tonight. Trying to get Michigan win number 7 before a date with UCLA on Saturday, where you'll be.
We say it all the time. Don't leave college the way you came in, and DJ Wilson has gotten so much better.
Allen was playing the back line there and just swatted it out of thin air.
What are we talking about? Turnovers happen when you go too deep or you go to the baseline. Baseline will kill you. You can't go to the basket on the baseline unless you can get to the rim or you can know you're making the next pass. You know it.
There's Shaq Claire with that baby hook you were talking about. Scoreless first half, gets his first 2 there.
I read Twitter at halftime, and I'm being made fun of by Texas fans because I said that Shaq Claire has to be important, is a key to this game with Texas winning, and I'm telling you, he is. Shaka Smart loves to go to the post. You saw how easy Claire scored.
Put in the body on Wagner. You got made fun of at halftime. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing all right.
Is that where that tear came from?
No, I do not need a safe space.
Rebound for Allen. He goes right back to work and lifted out.
Well, that's one Allen would like to have back. He made the right move, just didn't clear the front of the rim.
Walton off the Wagner screen you told us about the first half, and Claire tracks down the rebound.
I would go back to Claire if this gets in half-court offense because Wagner cannot physically hang with him.
2 fouls, too, first half for Mo Wagner.
And you want him out.
There it is.
I think they went the wrong way. They needed to go to Allen and let Claire dive.
Claire ended up facing up.
Right.
Didn't look comfortable.
No, that's what I'm saying. Allen is pretty good up there. Claire diving on the block can use his strength, get close to the bucket, and Wagner's going to have nothing that he can do with Claire.
Zach Irvin out for Michigan. Robinson back in. Irvin still scoreless in this game. So 9 to shoot for Texas and the freshman guard Andrew Jones. Robinson kept him away from the hoop. And that 3 goes down for Tevin Mack, who's been lethal.
Man, and that was deep. And that had DJ Wilson out on him. And he, again, second time, lifted up, knocked it in.
It's twice over Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson's long.
Abdur Rahman fouled on the way up. He'll get 2 shots.
There's nothing much you can do, right? I mean, look, it's the end of the clock. You played good defense. Your longest guy is out there. He's there, hand up. But that was kind of a fake hand up. That was like you're putting your hand out there, and it's almost like the sight of a gun. It almost levels you off and gives you an aiming point when you put it out that way. You've got to come at a shooter at that point. Make him put it on the floor.
So you're saying essentially looking over the fingertips at the target.
It kind of lines you up. Like people, you know, like I heard yesterday during the Monday Night Football game, the toughest catch is one where you're just wide open. And by the way, I think we should do a few minutes of you as Sean McDonough, because you do the best Sean McDonough. You do a better Sean McDonough than McDonough does.
Only if you do Gene Stapleton for us. That's
Songs that made the hit parade. There you go.
Problems, Dockage.
I did it. You got to do a McDonough.
Yeah, it's a 2-point lead for the Wolverines. And a foul against Michigan. And Wagner.
You know, it's become a disease in college basketball where guys get touched and they fling their heads back. And that's what happened there. Wagner didn't really touch him. And that's what he's trying to tell Beeline as he comes off. He's like, I didn't really touch him. And he threw his head back and got the call.
How about this? 3 for Wagner, 3 for Claire. Who does it hurt more?
Well, I think it hurts Michigan more because they have gone to him. They have gone to Wagner. Now, Claire, I think down the stretch, you watch, last 5-7 minutes, Claire's going to have big impact.
Nearly taken away by Robinson. Jones got it up on the rim, and here comes Michigan.
But having said that, number 34, Mark Donnell, has been a really good player at different times for Michigan. He's certainly capable of coming in and having a big second half.
He's been the first man off the bench quite a bit for Michigan this year.
Starter a lot of times last year. They didn't throw it to him.
He wanted it. He's back to the basket against the freshman Banks. Donnell the handoff. Walton the 3, and it rimmed out. And this is a turnover, Texas. Michigan gets an unforced error at 15-12 second half. Tight game, Texas-Michigan. 6th meeting all time.
Shocking.
Catholics versus Con.
Back and forth, Texas last led at 3-2, but threatening here at a 37-35 Michigan lead. Jason Benetti, Dan Dockage, our entire crew. We're here at Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor. What has changed for Texas on this run since late first half?
I think their defense has really tightened up, and they've gotten a tremendous effort from Mack on Irvin, obviously. But I think everybody, I think Roach has been involved. I think Banks has come in, used his length really well. You see right there, look where the ball is.
Roach chasing Donnell all the way back near the midline. Duncan Robinson had it blocked by the freshman Banks. Texas recovers.
I'm telling you, Banks has made an impact, a real impact in this game on that end.
Open look. Jacob Young could have had the lead, and they'll reload. Young one more time, drops it in.
Oh, man, the son of Michael Young. 1983 Houston Cougars. His brother Joe plays in Indianapolis. How about that? He misses the shot, missed it in the first, hadn't made anything, comes right back, drills it.
Pretty good for a guy who in shoot-around this morning walked up to a teammate and said, I got jet lag. They got in late last night. He wasn't necessarily ready for shoot-around. He was ready to shoot
get in
there.
late. I was in the hotel. They got in like at 8.
Like 10.
Was it 10?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was
you need
10.
a new watch.
Yeah. How about Young? Just, hey, that's confidence. You know, you miss, get it back. On the road now, remember. Texas is just playing a lot harder than they did to start this game.
That's what they did
yes.
late in the game against Alabama. Came back from big down in the first half. Robinson, defended by Davis, threw it away.
Yeah, and who was there? Banks. Boom!
Jones the other way for the slam, and the freshmen have 5 in a row for Texas.
What an impact Banks has had. I mean, he has blocked shots. He's got hands on balls. He's talking to his teammates. And you see Texas is fired up.
12-6 at a halftime. The Longhorns with a 3-point lead, Dan.
Well, defense turning into offense. Turnovers for touchdowns as Tom Izzo talks.
Was the one who's taken the Cub games, and he was just wishing that maybe the championship would have happened 5 years earlier. His grandfather has since passed, and he felt like that would have been extremely important to his grandpa. John Beeline on the other side, big Cardinal fan.
Yeah, John Beeline was getting texts from me about how to handle the Cubs winning, because Cardinal fans who view themselves as elitist and the best in baseball struggled with the Cubs' success.
Walton to tie the game, and a tough shot wouldn't fall.
This is where Michigan gets stuck. You see everything around the three-point line, nothing going towards the basket. And that possession was as bad a one as they had the entire game. Nothing going towards.
Back cut knocked away. Wilson collects it. Walton up ahead, leans in, got it blocked, and one more time Banks starts a run out for Jones. And he missed the layup. Wilson crowbarred it away down low.
If the game turns, that's the play that turned it right there. Right there. You got a chance, you got Michigan down, you got this crowd, and now it's time.
Robinson buries the three.
Right over Banks. It was fake defense there by Banks. Duncan Robinson knew that Banks wasn't really guarding. He was showing with a hand. Robinson made him pay.
Transfer from Williams buries his second three of the night. And we are tied with under 13 to go. Defense into offense, back into defense.
Well, Michigan wanted a foul there. I don't know that there was, but here you go. I mean, you're back down the court, and you have a chance to lay it in, and you don't. You go up soft, and Wilson rips it out of his hands. And I'm just telling you, this is not defense. The hand is up late. The hand has to be all over him. You got to make Duncan Robinson put it on the floor, and as good as Banks has been, that was a bad play. That little sequence, that 5-point sequence, they're huge in this game.
Doesn't that start with the footwork, though?
Absolutely, yeah. He was, you know, like Raftery coming home at night. You know, he was staggering around a little bit. You know what I mean? And you got to be solid. You got to have your hand, and you have to have your inside foot forward to force him to the baseline.
Thank you for leaving your current colleagues out of the example.
That's why I did it.
40 all Michigan and Texas, teams that have met 3 times in the NCAA tournament. Half their meetings have come in the NCAA tournament dating back to 1994. The tail end of the Fab Five. A win for Michigan. Then one in 2014 during that run to the Final Four. Put 14 threes in that game. Here we're tied at 40.
Well, Mark Donnell playing great defense. Really good defense on Allen, forcing a drive off balance. If you don't let a big guy get the ball, or if you make in modern basketball a big guy work to get the ball on the lane, chances are it's going to be an offensive foul on the big.
Donnell in with Wagner on the bench with 3 fouls. Robinson willing to drive, puts on the brakes and scores. 5 in a row for Duncan Robinson.
And a great no call. Robinson drove it. He did not extend his arm. The defender flopped, I thought. Next thing you know, usually that's a call. Robinson did not extend an arm. Good no call.
Gene Steratore talking to Duncan Robinson. And we will head to timeout. Michigan with a 42-40 lead over Texas.
This is his physical therapy. My friend Brody Stevens has been in the hospital over 90 days. He's been dealing with cancer since the time he was 2 years old. Went and remitted another cancer. It's a remarkable story. And this kid in his physical therapy does this. He dribbles a basketball. Steph Curry has come to see him. I got a call the other day from Kyrie Irving's people. Steph Curry has wore Brody Strong bracelets. Cancer affects everyone. Let's do our best to get rid of it.
It helps some kids who just want to live lives as fully as they possibly can. Boy, Jacob Young's not shy on that 3-point field goal. He missed that one after making a little while ago here in the second half. It's Allen on Robinson to deny the 3.
And you see Allen's already out there. He's not dancing around. He is out there. Now the switch was made.
Walton took it away from Roach on the overplay. Nice recovery by Roach. Robinson around the screen. Wilson soaring for it, and he is fouled.
And that's what Wilson has to do. Figure out ways to score other than shooting a jump shot. He's got 12 points coming in right now. But he just came sprinting in from the weak side and was able to get a rebound. Actually, the strong side. Ball came back to him.
And that's 4 on Jared Allen, by the way, the freshman big, the top center in the country, according to Paul Biancardi's group in the ESPN 100. Allen may have to sit on the bench for a while here.
Yeah, he's probably going to sit till somewhere around 5 minutes, depending on how this game goes. They're going to bring back in Claire. And again, I would go to block after block after block with Claire.
Wilson was 6 out of 7 from the line this year before that miss. Claire with 3 fouls. Now Allen with 4.
Well, you may want to go. You may want to go with Banks a little offense defense to preserve Claire for a little bit. Banks has been tremendous defensively.
Wilson 1 for 2. He's got 13.
I think this is interesting for Michigan. Michigan's going to play with only one big Martinell. They just brought in Abdul Rahman, who has really struggled. But don't be surprised if in this matchup Abdul Rahman doesn't get really aggressive. He's pretty good late in the game at finding buckets.
Abdul Rahman and Irvin, neither has scored tonight for Michigan.
That's got to go in.
Cross court from Roach. Claire kicks it out for Davis. Floater goes down for Eric Davis.
That's third shot he's made. All like that. Has not been able to get on track from the three-point line, but really comfortable getting in the lane. You cannot, if you're Michigan, allow the perimeter of Texas to get past you or to get in the lane. They have to play on the sides.
Eric Davis, originally Rick Barnes recruit. Shaka Smart made a connection with Davis very quickly. Irvin passed up the look. Robinson does not, and he just spun it out.
Well, good look by Irvin finding the hot man, and that thing was halfway down. I'm telling you, last possession, Claire touched it, they kicked it out. Claire has to touch it on the block every possession, either as a passer or as a post guy.
He's out high here as a screener to roll. Caught it and slammed it.
He has to. The problem you have if you're Texas is the perimeter doesn't shoot it well enough, so Michigan can play off of them with clogs the lane. But Shaka Smart did a really good thing here. You're going to see Claire come up high, gives him more room. Donnell stays too long with the ball screen. Abdul Rahman reaches Claire with a dunk. Great move by Shaka Smart, moving Claire around.
Walton wraparound, got caught in midair, and Michigan turns it over.
So Zach Irvin playing with one hand. That's bad business. Again, Walton goes to the baseline. Irvin struggling. I mean, really struggling.
What kind of lineup can you put together without him out there?
Well, I was surprised. I thought Wilson was coming in for Irvin. John Beilein all over Abdul Rahman because he flew by in help. He didn't hold his position against Claire. Same play here with Claire rolling.
Drive and kick the other way, batted out of bounds by Irvin in Michigan. 17 to shoot. Tevin Mack has been quiet here in the second half for Texas. He's got 1 3 after a 13-point first half. Wagner is back in with his 3 fouls. Mark Donnell played some significant minutes there for Michigan.
And Mark's a good player. He's a senior. He's got another year coming back. Coached him in AAU. He's a tough kid. His brother's a lineman for the Los Angeles Rams, played at Iowa.
A shot clock issue never started, so Gene Steratore, a couple days off his trip to frigid Green Bay, will check in with the scorer's table.
Did you watch him?
He was not happy about the temperature.
They came back to a clip of him standing in front of the heaters. You know, in football, you're supposed to not worry about that stuff, right? You're supposed to wear a T-shirt, shorts, take your shirt off like in the game last night with the Jets.
Not exactly, but sure. So shot clock's going to go to 5.
Hey, can we talk about the biggest game of the year last night?
Sure, go ahead.
The Michigan managers defeated the Texas managers. I'm going to say all these kids' names wrong for Michigan. Nolan, how you say that?
And shoots, okay. I think.
David Glazer, Ryan Kaputska. My Kaputska hurts. Max Bent, David Henson, Sam
Kuznetsky,
and Zach Napont. Congratulations. Managers are playing managers all over the world.
Big time tournament. And that 3 wouldn't go down for Roach. Who you got in the managers this year? Who's number 1? Who you like?
I have no idea.
You got a bracket filled out?
No, I don't, but I just know those dudes are hard-working guys. I was watching Texas's guys. While the players are walking around doing nothing, these guys are carrying everything. It's great.
Let them play a little bit,
kids.
right?
Absolutely.
Just a couple years ago this started, and it's sweeping the nation.
Yeah, it's become a big deal. Kevin Panga from Michigan State has a manager index on Twitter.
That's terrifying.
Yes. This is where they get stuck. See anything going to the rim? Nothing. Now you go a little bit.
Walton the drive, tripped, and it's Texas basketball.
That's a terrible possession. You look out here, you've got two big guys from Michigan, Wilson and Wagner. Neither are a post presence right now. I think Wilson needs to be a post presence.
But what do you mean post presence? What do you want to see?
You have to, all right, high ball screen, roll him onto the block, and then keep him there. Let these other four guys do what you want to do. You want a ball screen with a post guy, fine. But keep somebody on the block to shrink the defense. Michigan had 5 guys out wide. That's bad business.
Not a lot of post work going on here. Claire turns into a screener.
They have him, though, if they want.
Mack on the drive against Wilson, got funneled toward the end line, and it's Michigan ball.
Again, if you're a good shooting team, the defense extends out to you. If you're a bad shooting team, which Texas is, the defense plays halfway between the post and the perimeter. That jams up the post. That's why Claire hasn't been able to get much space. They're trying to get it to him.
A little pressure on for Texas. Opened up the floor. Wagner's wide open. You like that by Texas?
I did, except that Mack was where he was supposed to be, Jason, and then he ran out thinking it was going to be a skip pass. You protect the basket first. I didn't love it, but it would have worked had Mack stayed where he was supposed to be.
Ten to shoot for Davis. On Robinson, 4-3, too strong. Out of bounds. Texas will have it. Mo Wagner wide open down low for Michigan to retake the lead.
Sometimes just having a big guy there, and this time it was against pressure. You're not really going to be. Man, that is remarkable. How about 114-2, and you can't really get anything done nationally because they're just that good at UConn.
Great player, Arike Ogunbowale for Notre Dame. Try and change that against UConn coming up tomorrow night. Claire picked up his dribble against Wagner and had to get rid of it to Roach. 9 to shoot for Roach. Walton with him. Mack for 3, got fouled by Wilson.
Man, what a bad foul. That was pretty good defense by Michigan. Great defense protecting against Claire on the block, which is where Texas wanted to go. But man, oh man, you come out too far, you jump forward. Mack with a little bit of a kick into Wilson, got the call.
When you're talking about that individual cylinder, though, if the defender is in that area and then the contact gets created, it is against the defense if you're in the cylinder.
Except, I thought, and you could make a case, I believe, that Mack kicked out. And you cannot kick out. You know what I mean? You can't kick Reggie Miller, kick your leg out kind
But
of
if you're
thing.
in that cylinder defensively and you're in the player's pocket, that contact's going to more often than not by far go against the defensive player.
And that's a new kind of ridiculous thing that's in basketball this year. But
you think it's ridiculous?
Well, I think the whole cylinder thing is, and I don't think guys should be able to swing their arms and all of a sudden it's a foul. It doesn't apply to what we just saw, don't get me wrong.
Texas gets the ball with the pressure. 2-on-1 for the moment, and Mack decided to take it himself.
Could have given it up early, gotten it back. Big play right there.
Texas put on the pressure earlier in this half and gave up an easy field goal. That time they get the turnover. Now Wagner spun it out.
Got 4 guys standing around, including Wagner being a 5th. Nobody on the backboard. You got to go inside, I think, if you're Texas here. Play out of Claire if he can get the ball, because Wagner, number 13, is doing a heck of a job defensively.
Claire's on the other side here. He shows for the screen on Wilson. Wagner picks up Davis. Against Wilson now. Davis missed it strong. Wagner the rebound.
Yeah, I just don't like that. They have to get the ball to Claire. Everybody else dribbling and trying to score. They don't have. They can't make enough shots. Let's put it that way. They can make one once in a while, but playing from inside out going to be how Texas go win this game if they win the game.
How does Irvin find some points? He's still scoreless. Not that way, certainly. Taken away by the Longhorns.
Well, the problem you have with Irvin is there's nobody to set him up. Derek Walton is not a great penetrating pitch point guard, so he's got to do it off of screens, and quite frankly, Mack has done a heck of a job on him, coming through screens, keeping his feet moving through screens.
18 points, strong defense for Mack. That layup wouldn't go for Jones. And Robinson clears the rebound for Michigan. Offensively challenged, 14 points in the second half for the Wolverines. Irvin saw an opening, missed the shot. And that's over the back against Texas and Mack.
Well, you know this. Does this game not remind you of Virginia Tech?
It does in a lot of ways.
It does. You could watch the Virginia Tech games. You see the over-the-back foul right there and kind of know how it was going to go in the end because Virginia Tech was getting easier shots. Well, here Texas is getting much easier shots than Michigan. They've missed 2 straight on the rim.
6 fouls against Texas, just 2 against Michigan. And free throws could be important. Michigan, 7th best in the country in free throw percentage coming in, 74%. 4 out of 7 tonight.
Ball has got to be driven.
Wagner can put it on the deck a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. Everybody goes ooh and ah, but
where'd it
didn't go anywhere. Right. Ooh.
That's tipped out of bounds off of Robinson. And he and Wagner talked to each other about that pass.
Well, again, a straight pass to your man. And what Robinson's supposed to do there is V-cut. 2 steps one way, plant your outside foot, change direction. He didn't. He stood and kind of drifted out. Next thing you know, you're going to see a tip, and it's going to be off Robinson. Really good call by Mike Eads. Throw the ball to your teammate. Throw the ball away from the defense.
Claire the screen. Now he wants it in the post against Wagner with 3 fouls. Claire goes to work for 2.
Nothing they can do. There's nothing that Wagner can do, but he can't give up ground. He's fighting him. He's doing his work early, but Claire's just too big and strong and too much touch.
A trimmed down Shaq Claire dropped about 30 pounds, and he has all of his points, all 6 after halftime tonight. Irvin found an opening and knocks down the 3.
And he says thank you as he raises his hands to the heavens. He's not going to stop shooting.
That's his first bucket tonight. Irvin now on defense. Timeout called Texas. Mack was bracketed in the corner.
What a great defensive sequence right there by Mo Wagner. He absolutely swallowed up Claire, and then he helped on the drive. Hey, look, this is pretty good here by Claire. You cannot let Claire beat you if you're Michigan. If you're Texas, you have to go to him. And look, Zach Irvin's
really could celebrate with the best of them, too, as Texas gets it inbounds. 4 to shoot for Roach. On the drive, Roach had it pinned, and it's Michigan basketball.
Great defense squaring his shoulders by DJ Wilson. Watch Irvin here.
Just made a 3 to tie the game. Zach Irvin with his first field goal. Irvin goes left. Wagner, 3.
Not the shot you wanted. Ball needed to get back reverse, and you can work Irvin again, but Wagner can hit a shot mostly from the top of the key. I'm telling you, if I am Shaka Smart, this ball is going to somebody on the block.
Allen in with 4 fouls. Claire playing down there with him.
There it is.
Claire on Wagner. Claire uses the body and left it short.
He did, and Wagner didn't give. He bumped, made Claire miss.
Now where for Michigan?
I think it's got to be, if you're not going to go to Wilson, which they're not going to go, don't be surprised if Abdul Rahman doesn't get a shot here in the corner.
He's waiting for it. Irvin takes it himself.
Yeah, I'd like to see Zach Irvin drive that and force help where you can go back to Abdul Rahman or use his size at 6'7" and possibly draw a foul. That's bad possession there by Zach Irvin.
These teams average over 70 a game. Texas just 1 for its last 9 on the offensive end.
Here comes a double. Here comes Mack.
He dropped it off. Allen was fouled before the shot, just the 3rd personal against Michigan, so no free throws coming.
There will be a time later this year where that drop off to Allen, if it's passed right, he'll knock in that shot. He's going to be good enough. That's why I said in the open of this game, Texas for Michigan is going to be a really good win at the end of this season. I believe the same thing for Texas if they win this game, beat Michigan. I think both teams are going to get a lot better.
Well, Texas did that last year. Had a low point against TCU early in conference season, 120. As that goes down on the hard drive from Roach for Texas at 51st.
And that's what Roach does. Not a true point guard, but a true athlete. State champ in the triple jump. He just was fearless. Put his head down and went.
Back-to-back state titles in the triple jump. Wagner out of bounds. Turnover, Michigan.
Boy, that'll make you put back things you never stole as a coach. Honest to goodness, that will. Hey, Wagner, the ball didn't get touched. He just missed it. Irvin did a good job, did what we talked about. He dribbled it deep enough to where people had to help. The help came. Wagner didn't catch it. You know, there's nobody in the country, I promise you this, nobody in the country works on pass and catch more so than John Beelan. I mean, they have things called the perfect pass, the perfect shot. And to drop a pass is ridiculous.
Final timeout, Shaka Smart and Texas.
If you're Michigan, look, you got options, but at some point, Derek Walton is a senior. You're down 2 if you get the ball back. You got to go make a play.
They've only got 5 scorers in the game, Michigan. Robinson, Walton, Wagner, Irvin, and Wilson. And Irvin just had his first field goal.
And Abdul Rahman, I've been talking about him, but he hasn't scored in 2 games. But I still believe he's the kind of player that doesn't care. And he's the kind of player who can go get buckets.
0 for 7 last 2, 0 for 5 on Saturday, 0 for 2 today.
He's got to throw it to Allen right here.
Davis gets it right back.
You can go after a steal if you'd like. You've only got 3 team fouls. Reset clock. You still have time if you get a stop.
Davis drops it off, 13 to shoot. Mack into the post for Allen on Wagner. He wasn't ready for it. Davis, 4 to shoot. Davis for 3. Well off the mark. And this is Michigan basketball. No rim on the shot anyway.
Boy, I think if you're Michigan, you just keep it moving. They're not gonna. They're gonna get set. Because Wagner was late and it was a 5-on-4 situation.
Wagner on Allen. And that basket won't count, but it's Allen's 5th personal. It's a 1-and-1 for Wagner.
I'm just wondering here. I told my son today, late in the game, drive Allen. Because Allen doesn't guard the drive well. And I saw him move over and sit next to Jeff Meyer over here. I think I'll take credit for that foul.
You're gonna?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not.
How often does he listen to you, though? Really?
Never.
Yeah.
But you see him right there. He'll wear you out, my son, on the bench, because he's a guy that'll tell you what to do, like everybody. But that was a really nice move because Allen really opens up, and with 4 fouls, he was trying to protect, but he couldn't.
Never expect the younger Dockich on time for dinner as they will substitute Allen out. And a 1-and-1 coming for Wagner in a key spot here. He's not the best foul shooter, Wagner, for Michigan. That's certainly true. Today, he's 0 for 1. He's 14 out of 23 from the line for the year.
Well, let's be honest. You're going to play big-time college basketball. You got to make these at home. I mean, you know, I'm not saying you got to make 100% of them because nobody does that. But there are certain times that you just have to step up and you got to make, and this is one of those for Mo Wagner.
Talking to John Beeline about Wagner earlier, he said he speaks quite a bit of English. However, in huddles is the time when he notices maybe a little bit of a language barrier because there's so much sound going on. It's difficult to focus, so you can't hear pieces of words. That might be the time when Wagner has the issue still with English.
Remember, there's a lot of kids that come over here and play in a prep school or play, you know, somewhere for a year. This kid here, he came straight from Germany. Yep. You know, he didn't have a year here to go to school.
So Mo Wagner, sophomore out of Berlin, will have a 1-and-1.
Man, they ought to give him a warm-up pitch. It's been forever.
A long time. Allen fouls out. Now there's a wet floor.
There's blood.
Some blood on the floor.
Yeah, I think there's blood.
So a couple of stoppages. Wagner pointing to another spot. And they will re-examine the free throw line. You talk about watching grass grow. This is riveting television right here. 1-1 to tie the game, and Wagner bandaged up there on his hand.
Hey, look. All right. Things don't always go your way. You've been standing around. Go ahead and make them.
And away we go. Wagner, front end of a 1-1. He's got it.
You know, people accuse me sometimes of rooting. I don't like to see games cost by players. I like to see games won by players, where a guy goes and makes a heck of a play after a kid makes 2 free throws.
Missed the second one. Texas ball. Do you play it straight up here?
Absolutely. You've got a 20-some second difference. You just play it straight up. You really, you have fouls to give, but you don't want to foul because then it becomes what you have to do. I like this, though. Walton's making it interesting for Roach.
Heating him up. 12 to shoot. Wilson joins him. Roach lost it. Michigan basketball.
Yeah, that was because Derek Walton got after him tough.
Zach Irvin on the drive. Irvin. Now Wagner scores. 1-point game.
Now
and
you
a
can
foul on Walton.
Yep.
Foul to give.
Yep. Now you can foul. That's only 4. You've got 2 more. So if they play this right and make the ball thrown backwards, you see Wagner here gets position. Claire came over to help. Wagner filled the space, went up and got it. If Michigan plays this right, forces the ball into the backcourt, couple dribbles, fouls, do it a couple times, you're going to be talking about 6 seconds, maybe, left.
You got 2 fouls that are freebies.
Yeah.
So is that the discussion
Absolutely.
in John Beilein's huddle here?
Absolutely. What you want to do for Michigan is don't let the ball get thrown towards the basket. Just don't. You're going to see here Wagner. Watch Claire. Claire, number 32, goes after the block. Wagner gets position on Roach, and away you go.
There's a lot at stake here, too. Both teams, this is a 2-year series, home and home. You get a name win with a victory here today, and it looks very good to the committee. Both teams that are likely going to be jockeying for this position in the tournament.
There's no question, and the thing about it is both of these teams are going to get better. Like, I really think Texas is going to be a force by the end of the year. Their young bigs are getting better. Their guard play will improve as everybody gets more comfortable. I think this is a big-time game, and congratulations to both coaches for playing it. This could have been Prairie View A&M for Texas and Upper Middle Wayne State for Michigan.
They are talented there, though. They really are. They're building a program.
You're the only guy that knows that because you do your homework.
It's 51-50 Michigan.
All
if
right.
you're Texas, what do you do with those fouls to give?
I'm telling you, you drive it. And if you know you have gotten fouled, and you have to know that you've gotten fouled, throw the ball up. But don't think you're getting fouled. Do you understand the difference? If I think I'm going to get fouled and throw it up, guy may back off.
I have to feel the contact.
You have to know and darn near hear a whistle. Good defense.
Davis the inbound. No timeouts for Texas. Mack. Double clutched. Out of bounds, and Texas will have it 9.5.
Now you have 2 fouls to give with 9.5 seconds. You have to protect the basket first. You can't miss a switch out. Everything is protect the basket, make them throw it out, 1 dribble, foul.
2 fouls to give for Michigan.
Well, that clock could have ran there as well.
Didn't run at all.
Yeah, Mike Eads is saying, take a look.
Got to have something go off that clock, you'd imagine.
DJ Carson said no. Oh, they missed a switch.
Davis.
You got to foul.
On the drive, Davis. Wagner blocked it. Abdur-Rahman is fouled. 2.5 to go. Michigan played it straight and got a block from Wagner.
How about Mo Wagner? Made one of the free throws, got the layup, blocked the shot. Well, look at the defense. I'm calling for a foul. Wagner just came, saw the ball, went, and then Abdur-Rahman came after it and got the foul. big-time stretch here for Mo Wagner.
Abdur Rahman, 1-1, got the first. His first point tonight.
Now somebody's going to say, remember Mike Krzyzewski in the national championship game against Butler missed this free throw. I do not think you missed this free throw. 2.5 seconds, you can darn near get to half court and lose a game.
And you still have fouls to give as
right.
well for Michigan.
Absolutely.
You've got to give a foul here, right?
You got to be very careful here, though. If you get the ball coming down the side, I wouldn't foul.
For fear of a three?
Yeah, absolutely.
As you foul?
Yes, because the guy is going to go, the Texas guy is going to go into the shooting motion because there's only 2.5 to go. Do not let the ball in the middle if you're Michigan. Got to be, there you go, got to be on the side.
It's Jacob Young for the tie. He missed it. Michigan wins.
What a great game. What an absolute great game. Congratulations to both teams playing each other #1 and competing like crazy. Great, great game. You see here the ball's on the side. Urban does a good job of keeping it in front of him. Way off, Michigan wins.
What a battle in Ann Arbor tonight. Michigan goes to 7-2. Texas drops to 4-4. Final score, 53-50, Michigan over Texas. For our entire crew, for Dan Dockich, Jason Benetti, saying good night from